I am delighted to be sharing a platform with people I've known for many years, and also rather more recently with Tim. I'm glad to tell you, Tim, that there is a resident-led housing association. I'm proud to chair it, and we very much enshrine that in the work that we do, and we'll be alive and respond to any criticism on that front. That's really all I want to say about East End Homes, because I have to be a little careful. I don't want to be accused by anyone of the one housing persuasion that I'm talking from a sense of sour grapes or anything like that, because I'm not. One of the reasons I'm chair of East End Homes is because, coincidentally, when Debbie was starting work 28 years ago in housing in Tower Hamlets, I was signing up to be a council tenant. I saw the work which people we can both remember well, some of them still working for Tower Hamlets Council. The work they did in the most difficult conditions for, in my block, Braithwaite House, now demolished by Poplar Harker, but it was a rotten place for people to live. I was glad of the roof over my head as a hard-to-let tenant. So it was hard to let to me, very easy to let to me, me and my mates, but the block was 40% empty. People there were 60 flats unoccupied. People did not want to live in Braithwaite House. And what did I see? I saw dedicated individuals like Debbie working to make those places better places to live in. And that's where I started my journey, which ends with me being chair of a RSL locally, which is trying to bring about change for the good. So I say to all of you, you're doing well getting behind Debbie. Make sure everybody else does. Make sure you join a trade union, because I can tell you, look at this. That's Unison backing their member, Debbie Codrey, their shop steward. You need to be in a union if you're not already, because there's the employment lawyer, he says people are looking for ways to get rid of workers at the moment. If you're in a union, if you've got representation like John McLaughlin, who I can tell you speaks for his members to the employer. I've sat opposite him in appeal meetings, and I've heard him represent his members to good effect. That's what you need. You need a union, you need a community behind you, you need good RSLs delivering a good service. And that's what we need on the Isle of Dogs. The first thing to do is to get Debbie back in a job. Anything I can do to help, I will. Well done for organising this. Sorry I've got to go, but it looks like I've got to eat Jim's dinner as well as my own. Which I'm sure I'm up to. Thank you. I apologise I have to leave, and I won't miss the other speakers, but you can tell me about it later. Right?
Our next speaker is from our own trade union, Unison. He used to be for many years a housing worker within Tower Hamlets. He was a member of our branch in Tower Hamlets. He himself was transferred into a different RSL. He's now in another branch that covers housing associations, so he's got a lot of experience of what different housing associations are like. He's also a lay representative of the Greater London region of Unison. He's our finance convener. So I'd ask you to welcome John Gray.
Just to reiterate, I'm wearing about 3 hats here tonight. Very briefly, I am here on behalf of London region of Unison. Unison's got 130,000 members in London, and I'm here to show solidarity with Debbie on behalf of the union in London. Also, Unison is the biggest housing union in the country, and certainly in London as well. And I'm also in what's called the Housing Association branch, and we represent about 3,000 members in different housing associations all over London. And of course, with Sarah, I'm one of the only people here who used to work with Debbie. I was a estate officer in Bow 14 years, and I used to work very closely with Debbie as a estate officer and also as a trade unionist. We used to work together. And because of my first-hand knowledge of Debbie, because I've seen her actually in action, I know this is rubbish. This is a nonsense. I simply do not accept the allegations against her. And I'm sure that anyone who knows her will support me on that. I'm convinced that she's being treated unfairly. And since this is probably the most diverse panel, I've never had the honour of speaking with a Conservative councillor, the Labour Party or the trade union duties, but since it's such a diverse panel of speakers, it indicates the breadth of support for Debbie, and it indicates that nobody else believes it either. And I don't even think One Housing Group management believe the lies that they're talking. We've got chief executives like Mike Tyrrell, Tower Hamlets Community Homes, who again used to work with Debbie, breaking ranks and supporting Debbie over this matter, and quite rightly too. Now, there have been housing management problems, and what we call governance problems in Island Homes in the past. I think everybody accepts that, but why has there been so many disciplines, and why have there been so many disciplines of relatively low-level staff? Why are no senior management, all these consultants who've been paid 800 quid a day, why haven't any of them been disciplined or sacked? Why have you got a relatively junior supervisor who just happens to be the local trade union rep and just happens to be a respected community activist? Why is she sacked? This is just totally unfair and disproportionate. It's the sort of thing that brings housing into disrepute, and it sadly explains the poor opinion that many people have of some housing associations in London. When you've got housing associations with good governance, with a good housing management culture, one that respects residents and staff, that treats them fairly, in the many organisations that you get the unions, you get management, and most importantly, you get residents working together to create successful partnerships to make better communities, safer homes, decent homes. Now, final observations, while some individual residents and staff, we don't always get on eye to eye all the time. But we've got something in common, because you can bet your bottom dollar. If your housing association treats its staff badly, it treats its residents badly as well. And I think that's all your experience. My message to Island Homes is quite simple. They ought to remember rule number one, the golden rule number one. If you're in a hole, stop digging. Reinstate Debbie Codrey.